D. Carter, KathyDCarter.com. I'm Frito. She's Kathy. You'll hear the difference in our voices in just a second. I want to talk about fear.
Okay, let's talk about fear.
Overcoming fear. I don't think, and please, as always, tell me I'm wrong. Everyone has fear.
Oh, yeah, I would totally agree.
And I don't think it's possible not to have fear for anyone. I mean, there's going to be things that you fear.
Fear is a normal emotion.
And the difference between people isn't fear, it's how they overcome fear.
Yes.
How they handle the fear.
Yes, because everybody does have fear. That's just one of the normal emotions on the scale. I mean, we're going to have fear from time to time.
And we talked in a previous episode about people you work with that have the talents and have the abilities, but it scares them.
Yes.
And I think that happens more than we knew.
Oh, yes. Oh, there are so many, what would we say, hidden talents out there that could be helping the world. And some of the people know it, some of them it's unconscious, but it is the fear of allowing themselves to claim their gift that keeps them from developing it. And sometimes it's just the fear of, my life would be different. What would I do then? What would that look like? I'm too scared to know because they can't let go of control.
That's another. I'm writing that one down for another topic. But and I see it coming from the world of sports. People that, and I think this is mostly subconsciously, they're scared of success.
Yes. People say that, and I've always tossed that one around. I am not exactly sure what I believe about that, but I believe there must be some truth to it, because it's just like the person that's got a gift and they won't develop it. I mean, why not? Okay, for mediums, it is, well, I'm scared of the spirit world. I don't know enough about it. I don't know how to maneuver it. Well, you learn. You either learn or you're denying yourself. You're creating other problems when you don't allow your gifts to develop. You are absolutely creating even health problems for yourself, because when you have a talent and you're not using it in a way that makes you happy too, we could go down another alley on how coaches and band instructors and teachers like that drive these kids to anxiety to where they don't even want their gift anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that is so wrong in our society.
Well, and that's part of what coaches do and instructors. They're trying to achieve the most, even if they have good intentions. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get the most. I think part of scared success, there may be a better way to put it, but those individuals, I think, kind of, and once again, maybe subconsciously look at it and think the further I go up, the harder my crash landing is going to be when I fall.
Well, they could be thinking that. I had never thought of that one. Most of them, what I tend to think or have thought of in the past is that they think that the success will change their life in such a way that they won't know how to handle it. Meaning, my life will be so peaceful, I'll be so happy, everything will flow smoothly, and I'm addicted to chaos. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked about that in a previous episode, creating your own chaos, which I do think, and I use the word, I don't like using the word successful because I think people measure success completely different, and a lot of them measure it completely wrong.
Right, I agree.
To me, people who measure success by their bank account,
is wrong.
They don't get it. They don't get life.
No.
And I feel bad for them. Mm-hmm. Even if they are very, very successful with their bank account. Mm-hmm. I just don't, I feel bad for those people. Mm-hmm. Success to me is much deeper.
Right. I agree.
Just certain things. But they don't know how to handle. It's like the dog that's chasing the car. Mm-hmm. And you finally catch the car. What are you going to do now?
Yeah. Right. So with a lot of the fear, I find ways for the person to take really small steps. But for example, like someone that's afraid of flying, I have offered clients before that have that fear to the point where they just can't fly, that I would go with them. I would fly with them they'd pay me to do that, but I would go with them and show them that they could make it through.
And once you do that, and once you realize that you just overcame your fear, that changes a lot more than just that one particular fear.
Absolutely. And some people will go back the old way.
Well, okay. The other thing about fear and failure is that if you've never overcome a fear, it's going to be much, much harder to live.
Oh, yes. And if you believe in reincarnation, you just get to do it over again.
And we've talked about this. And once again, the movie's called Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks. It's a comedy. Do you remember us talking about this?
Kind of.
To me, it's a movie that I think is right in your wheelhouse.
I need to watch it.
But it's not meant to be in your... Well, maybe it is, because it's just a comedy. And the whole concept of the movie is you die and you go to heaven. But the way they judge you to see if you're going to get into heaven, and they may not even call it heaven, it's just you get to a better place.
Right.
And the way they judge you on whether you can stay or you have to go back to Earth and live another life and learn what you're supposed to learn. And they keep sending you back and the cycle just keeps repeating itself until you're ready to
move up.
And the main way they judge you, whether or not you're ready, is how you handle fear. And
I got to see that movie.
It's like a court case, and you have a defense attorney, and they
cool.
And they play back different parts of your life where you had something you had to overcome, and if you and they're just really brutal, like the kid that was scared of the bully. And it's like they show the scene where the kid like hides from the bully. Well, what were you scared of? Why didn't you face your fear? Yeah, you're not ready. You need to learn to face your fears.
You get to go back.
Yeah. And you keep going back until
you get it.
You establish that. And that's when I watch that movie, I think of the things you said to me.
Right.
About that.
It's very similar. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to watch it.
And it's not... And we're talking about a movie now, but it's not you're a bad person or you're...
Mm-hmm.
It's,
right.
Hey, you're just not ready.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, it's growth. Mm-hmm. Because overcoming fear is a growth. It is evolving your soul. It's one of the things... We have to overcome all of the low frequency... Oh, this is good. You have to overcome all of the low frequency emotions... And then and even when you do that, then you have to learn how to receive and embrace the higher frequency ones. That was good.
That was good. Write that one down.
Yeah.
But and when you're doing that and you're advancing and you're growing, sometimes the quickest way to grow is to be forced into it.
Well, hell, isn't that what happened to me? I didn't develop my gifts. I was forced into collapse. Or I wasn't forced. I forced myself because I was stubborn. And I wasn't paying attention.
Mm-hmm. And I say this a lot, that sometimes we're forced to do the right things. We don't do them by choice. As a matter of fact, in my life, it might be a huge majority of the time that I'm forced to do the right thing, and that the things that really impact you aren't things that you decided I'm going to do this. It was, I know I should do this, but I'm not going to. Mm-hmm. And then you're on a much smaller level. Like the smoker who quit smoking because he had lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you just got forced to do something you should have done a long time ago.
Right. Right. And the fear of that, a lot of times, if you consider that we may be little robots that someone has control over, the guy that smokes the cigarettes and then he finds out he has lung cancer, because honestly, the guy was probably never educated on the effects. He was never shown a live, healthy lung and a smoker's lung. Mm-hmm. Why don't we show people that? Why don't we show kids that in school?
Well, we show this is your brain and this is your brain on drugs.
The guy then he's so far gone, it's like, well, I'm going to go back to smoking because I'm going anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
because they're addicted.
And that's another thing. Not only are they addicted, but I think that other things in life that aren't necessarily addictions, that I've lived this way for 55 years. I could stop, but why?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. See, those are the people that I don't say they're wrong, but they have to, any choice we make, we have to accept the consequences. Mm-hmm. And fear, if you decide not to walk through your fears, then you are giving fear your personal power. And if you want to live your life that way, it's okay. But you're going to come back in and do it again until you find your personal power and take it back.
So I think there's people, professionals. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you would call them professionals, but people you pay to go to counseling. Mm-hmm. I think there's two schools of thought about the way people handle, or professionals advise you to conquer fears. Start with your small fears, because those are going to be the easy ones to conquer. But I kind of go the other way. What's the scariest thing in the world to you? Oh, conquer that fear.
You can do that too,
and then you'll know. Gosh, if I can jump out of a plane.
Yes.
What can I?
Yeah.
There's nothing more scary to me than that.
I overcame that, so I can do anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that works too. That does work on some people, but some people are just too frightened to even think of going there because they're trembling. Mm-hmm. And I just felt I needed to say this, that some of the exercises for going through low fears, they're as simple as wear mismatched socks. Not only does that help your fear, but it also helps your perfectionism. Start wearing different colors. Drive to work different. I think I've gone through these before, but little things like that are out of your routine. The body loves routine, but when you fall in a routine and you stay there for year after year after year, you're stunting your growth.
And that's why you hear people preach, get out of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Because that's another reason with the fear of success is, hey, I've got a good life right now. I'm okay. Mm-hmm. Why would I want to do something that's going to take a chance and wreck my decent life? Even if I know that if I succeed, I can make my life so much better. Well, I'm okay. I'm good.
I'm okay. But usually the reason, what I believe today, the reason that doesn't work is because you made a soul contract that says otherwise. And the way that it appears that this works is in your soul's contract. If you did sign something that said this was your soul's purpose, then you're satisfied with a quarter of the way there. Guess what? Some catastrophe is going to come to you.
Yes.
To kick you in the pants and to cause you to start changing again.
Mm-hmm. And, I equate a lot to sports. Mm-hmm. But you've got to be willing to take some chances.
Yes.
You've got to be willing to fail.
Yes.
You've got to be willing to take on the unknown.
Yes.
And in order to conquer those fears, you've got to understand that, hey, may not work the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? If I keep at it, eventually it's going to work. And, I'm not a fan of being reactive, but your success, failure, overcoming fears, overcoming obstacles is going to be based on how you react.
Yes, how you see it.
Because as you said, the world is going to come and throw you a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
The world is going to come and you may be right there close to what you think is success, and something's going to shoot you down. And you're going to have to be able to overcome that.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a test. Have you got this or do you not?
Yeah. Right. So the lesson here is
walk through your fears. Take back your personal power from the fear and say, oh, no, you don't. You're not controlling me. I hold my personal power and I can walk straight through you.